Welcome to Psychic Tuesday with Sweet Bee. I am so glad to be here. I got to tell you, it has been a week and a week in, I call it like the eclipse hangover because that's what it feels like, an eclipse hangover because we got lots to talk about up there in them stars. But first of all, you can find me at bernicebissonpsychic.com and my all my social media is there. My podcasts are there. I have about 30 some odd episodes. You can hear my full previous readings. You certainly get a taste of them. Very small. I call them Reader's Digest versions of readings here live, which I really appreciate. Ask One and A1R Radio for this opportunity. And so here we are. Now we're going to start the talk because I'm going to bring our attention now to the next set of eclipses or the next eclipse axis. We just finished one with Libra and Aries. We're going to go to October 28th. Now, October 28th to November 13th. Let's talk about some of this astrology because it's big and it's transformative in very sort of deep uh, peace, war, revolution, transformations. There's big stuff here. And so if we go to October 28th, we've got this partial lunar eclipse. It's the final one in Taurus and Scorpio lunar axis. Now, this is an important one because joining with this eclipse energy, we also have the planet Uranus and we have the planet Jupiter. Now, thank goodness the retrograde because amped up, yikes. I tease a little bit, but not really. And so we have those joining there. And then opposing that, we have the sun, we got Mars, we'll have Mercury all in Scorpio. So communications, aggressions, assertions, beating our chests, yelling at people. Just kidding, a little bit. But lashing out a little bit, right? So we've got this dynamic energy, and then we got Tauruses and this element of surprise. Like the one thing that Taurus is always known to be stubborn, and I disagree. I disagree with stubborn. I actually think that they come resolute. Like they're pretty resolute about things, and once they've made up their mind, that's it. Except for they can surprise us once in a while, and so that planet Uranus planned for a surprise, and Jupiter is going to kind of amp up that energy because Jupiter's little brother, Juno, which is an asteroid, which is around commitments and betrayals. It really has a long story. And I would Google Juno asteroid astrology and go down some rabbit holes. But Juno joins Venus. Now, Venus is the opposite of this polarity, right? So we've got Mars and Scorpio. We've got Pluto that just went direct. So both of those ruling planets, transformation, rebirth. With death is birth, with ends are beginnings. So this moon is going to show us what's been hidden in this last 18 months to 20 months around that lunar axis and coming to true motivations. So what's your true motivation? Because even if you're like, I got no true motivations, what's that crazy bee talking about? Well, it's things that you may even like secretly was like, I really hope or not hope or yada yada. Coming out, having light shone on them, whether that's a personal sign, epiphany, a conversation, a conflict, an interaction. Now, Scorpio can be kind of extreme revolution. So when the universe needs to tap you on the shoulder and you don't listen, they kind of kick you off the ledge, saying, fly, birdie, fly. And hopefully you can fly or you hit the ground running, right? One of the two. So this next 4 weeks, be nice to each other. It's going to be my first. Be patient. Recognize people are going through deep transformation you know nothing about. And in that, just be patient with people with some of this because even in yourself, you're going to have this deep transformation. Now, when Venus and Mars gets involved, relationships and money, and Taurus is really about our luxury economy or economy. And Scorpio is about rebirth and all that kind of stuff going on, revolution. Pluto's backing her up by going direct at 27 degrees of Capricorn. So it's some big stuff in terms of relationships, values, money, peace, conversations, conflicts, manipulations, the truth coming out, that kind of stuff. So we might even see some forward motion on some big legal cases in terms of like all this, I don't know, technology and Bitcoin stuff. And we might see some new laws and regulation around the economy and reining the economy in type of legislation. I mean, we're certainly going to see it with unions and union negotiations. And I feel like, oh, wow, just watching power to the people kind of stuff, you know? And so we're going to see lots of that, lots of that. Now, some of the big stuff, the hot topics, I'm not going to press those buttons, but I am going to say this. There's going to be unusual negotiators in the peacemaking. And so there might be some countries stepping up pretty soon to do negotiations and peacemaking and trying to bring parties to the table. And I'm going to send lots of God energy there and goddess energy, God energy there to send that loving light for peace, because we have that sort of that rebirth going on right now. So what's being deconstructed, what's being sort of ground down now. Israel and Palestine run along that lunar axis of Scorpio and Taurus. If you look at the many birth dates of each of those countries, you'll see that they run along that lunar axis. And so I would almost imagine that we're going to see the depths of things when we hit that October 28th and November 13th. And then, so this depths of things, that's that transformation needed through Scorpio. And then going into that Taurus energy, Uranus elements of surprise. So it might hit rock bottom a little bit before it gets anywhere, but it once it does, it's going to get somewhere quickly. And that there'll be where there's quick conflict. I actually think that there's going to be attempts for peace negotiations also quickly. And so it'll be interesting to see that. Now, the next piece that I just wanted to bring us to real quick was once we have all that Venus energy, it's in Virgo, which is in service to people, and Juno, commitments. And so if we looked at commitments and where it's gathering is when I looked up some of the Sabian symbols and I looked up some of the mythology around that, a woman scorned kind of came up repeatedly. And so we're going to see some news on the Me Too front and women's movement, women's ideas, women pushing back, women empowerment, women, and also with the hostage situations that we're seeing in the Middle East there as well. We're going to see some movement with that in the next 10 days, very much so under that. And the value of economy, there might be some good news spots around small things around values, changing of values in the economy, where because that's really what we're doing is changing our values around the economy. And so this is a pretty big piece around this transition as I call into this new era of Aquarian energy. And it's going to be some big stuff. Relationship boundaries, safety and security are the two sort of accesses over the next 4 weeks. Remember that. You want to always create safe, secure spaces for people around you, for yourself and those around you. And also relationship boundaries create those. And so there's going to be lots of tensions of that, that Venus-Mars polarity, but things are being deconstructed in order for its reconstruction. And what's put in place is there for many years to come. And so this is a massive transformation for everybody on sort of deep levels and big levels, so above, so below, so, so within, so without, so the universe, so the soul. So it's all sort of big and small energy. And so I'll talk more about that as weeks come up, and I'm interested to see all the news highlights between those 2 weeks, that two sort of that 28th and November 13th lunar axes, switching karma and destiny, switching directions, and I'm going to will for peace. And so let's get to the good part of this, all this stuff, and the good part of all this energy. I've got Cheryl in Medicine Hat, Alberta. And so, hello, Cheryl.
Hi.
Now, let's get into it. So I have a few minutes with you, so I like to cover as much as possible. we can
Okay.
start with just say the day and month of your birthday. Would you like to start with a particular area you'd like me to focus on?
I was wondering if you could connect with my mom.
And you lost your mom?
Yes,
Yeah.
a couple of
Okay. Well,
years
let's just
ago.
let me
Yeah.
just hold on. Don't say anymore. Don't say anymore. Let's focus on your mama bear. Okay. And
Okay. All
so
right.
I will say, sorry.
No, well,
So
that's fine.
okay, we'll focus on your mama bear, and I just gonna just bring her to mind like she's walking up to you, and that she's sitting down and saying, "Hey, let's let's have some tea." So this is what I feel like I'm gonna say. With your mom, with your mom are two men. There's a younger man who passed away. It's funny because I keep figuring like um, even in the last since 2018 was really important, but there's a younger man who died, younger guy, who shows up with her. He may have been there first, but he seems to show up with her. There's also news of or worries about the health, what would appear to be like a brother or brother-in-law around you.
Hmm.
That there's something important about July, the month of July, 14th, 16th, around that time. My attention keeps being brought to. There's a couple of strong E, E names, J names. Um, I know you're Cheryl C, but I'm going to go C C. There's like C C. There's like almost another C kind of name that shows up as well. There's something important about maybe even around October 23rd, so coming up soon. So in the next 2 weeks, I feel like there's a couple of things. There's some good news coming in terms of someone's work or opportunity of work coming out of the blue, Cheryl. And I feel like this is. I know I'm jumping around a bit, but I only have about 5 minutes. So there's something
Okay.
important about work coming around, going back to work, new job, new opportunity for someone right in your household, right around you. There's something
Oh,
important
hopefully
about you
it's me.
traveling. Sorry?
I said, hopefully it's for me.
If you're looking, there's good news. I just want to message
Yeah.
everything that, because when your mom shows up in my mind, when you think about her, and all I see are a bunch of flashes of information, and I want to just blurt it all out. I want to scream
Okay.
it on the wind,
You
And
you
so I
go.
just, okay. And so there's something important about you having this new work, new opportunity. It's coming right around your household. It's going to come out of the blue. I feel like within 4 weeks, 4 months, it's like right there. And
Hmm.
that it feels like good news. July, she keeps bringing me to is important. I don't want to miss out on that for some reason, those dates. There's also about this young man that passed already that's with her. He's been gone for at least 7 years. There's a man who died a while ago. Um, there's some decisions. I'm like, just hang on to your mom. You don't need to put your mom nowhere. Keep her in your house or something. You don't hang on to her, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like um she says 3 out of 4 ain't bad. I don't know what she meant by that, but someone's not talking to someone. That's what I gathered when I said it.
Yeah.
And someone's like, I'm not talking to someone. And she's like, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And we'll just like let it be. Oh, funny. She showed it to me in handwriting. Let it be. And like the song. And then um there's something really important about the decisions that you made. You and another lady. There's like you with girls. You're like the girls, the galleys, the girls. And there's some decisions that you had to make. And I feel like it felt like, although I don't know why it felt on the fly because it wasn't, but it all had to be dealt with at once, I feel like. And so I feel like good decisions. hang on to your moss. You don't need to go nowhere. I feel like fill your house with gladiolas. I don't know
Okay.
why, like those flowers, you know what those are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, nice big bouquet. She's just showing me that. And now, she's very, very, so there's also a D name like David, but she's and a Matt. That's all. I just blurted them out, but she's very concerned right now about a man's health tests, hospital health. She's very concerned about that. And she also brings up someone's vision, losing their eyesight or having problems with their eyesight. I
Mm.
almost feel like that could be with a lady, maybe you or a lady around you. And then there's a man that she's kind of concerned about. And I almost feel like I'm calling him your brother-in-law. So I was gonna name it. Or that shows up with you. There's
Mhm.
um there's something important about fire department. Does someone work there or trying to work there?
No,
Okay.
not off the top of my head.
Okay. So there is someone's looking at going into service, uh, fire, paramedic, policing, emergency. No one's in trouble, but someone's looking at going into that, a young person as well. I feel like that's going to show up.
Okay.
You'll even know within 9 months to a year about this news.
Okay.
She shows up with that. But good decisions, and I just feel like I'm going to sound cliche, but I hope she leaves dimes everywhere just to say hello. Okay,
Oh,
and you are loved, and thank you for sharing your mama bear with us today, and
yeah.
thanks
Thank
you.
you
So
so much.
we'll chat again one day, Cheryl. Okay, we had somebody in Florida, I think. We have Chris in Florida. Chris,
Yes. Hi. How are you?
I love your energy. Wow, it's just like you blasted at me. And excellent, excellent. I'm great. I'm great. So Chris, I have a few minutes, and I can cover a lot in a few minutes. And so we can focus somewhere if you wish. We can just you can say roll the dice, be and my birthday. And I'm an astrologer. I work with people's birthdays a lot. So where do you want to begin?
I'm at a kind of a crossroads. I need to kind of make sure I'm making the right decisions in my life. And I'm happy, but I want to make sure that as I continue to move forward, that I don't make any missteps. So that's where I'm at. I need guidance, and I call upon my family and everyone and the world beyond and ask for help, and they do. But I
Woo-woo.
really just need a little more direction.
Oh, I love that they show up for you. Yeah, just call for it. And sometimes, sometimes when we're scared to make steps forward is because we can't envision ourselves there. And so, the first and obvious step I'm going to say is just envision yourself actually where you are, like where you think success is. Because when you say, "I want to make sure I'm on the right path," the truth is that any because you're God energy, you are always. It's always I am. You are, and you're not ahead or behind anything. And I just because you're intentional in what you're doing, I want you just to envision yourself where you're actually going. But let's talk about that a little bit because I want to just get to some specifics. So I do think that there's changes on every aspect. And if you didn't recently move, there's going to be a move of your home, a move of where you live. And uh, now there's also, I'm going to just message a bunch of stuff because there's like I'm getting flooded. So in my
Okay.
mind, you're going to different coastlines as well. So I know you're in the Florida area, but there's other
Right.
coastlines that are coming up for you in terms of very soon and travel there. and that I even think within 5 months, you'll know what I'm talking about with that. You've
Okay.
got new beginnings in terms of your, I actually think you're going to quit um, one thing, like you'll quit, you'll stop, and you'll redirect yourself into a new direction. If you didn't start that since last October, like 1 year ago right now, you'll be in it.
Right.
Okay. And
Okay.
um, can I, well, I'll just make, even relationship and everything is like a renewal or a new beginning, even relationship. Okay. And that
Okay.
um, there's, and especially if the two of you can work together on something in terms of your business work, like direction, you would be very strong. I feel like when you say you're at a crossroads, I actually think things have been at cross purposes. Like, and whatever once you make a decision, it falls into place and
Okay.
you'll decide and literally and because you're not ahead or behind anything. I don't want to sound esoteric with this because I feel like the decision you're making is already a yes, and it's been since June, and it's already a yes, and you seem to be, you're about to step forward or move ahead, and I'm like, don't be shy, step forward, move ahead. That where there were, this is like picking up a new life even, you know, and it's going to be marked when you said, oh, I asked all my dead people to come forward and blah, 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 which I thought was awesome. I just love it. I feel like there's going to be the birth of a baby boy, and I feel like it'll have the dad's name or your dad's name. And that's a mark of it's a new beginning. You see what I'm saying? Like it's right there.
Yeah.
Within 19
Okay.
months, you'll know what I'm talking about because it feels to be right there. And that I feel like because I keep thinking you're in this or have been in the process already, this difficult transformation towards your freedom. And I'm like, woo, woo. Uh,
Yep.
yes, heading in that direction. Now, um, if I go back for a little minute, for half a minute, when
Yeah.
I said two coastlines, I realize Florida has two coastlines, but that's not what I'm talking about. Like
Okay.
you'll get to go to the Pacific coast, okay?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
like the West Coast, whether that's Hawaii, California, I don't know, Puerto Vallarta, something like that coming up. So I recognize that, you're surrounded literally by coastlines, but I feel like I'm actually talking about a different coastline there. More towards the
Okay.
west seems to show up. Uh, did you move in the last year?
No.
Okay. Um, Well, unless you have more than one property, and your foot's between the two of them, there's this move that seems to really pop up for you, and the conversations in 2024 between May of 24 and May of
Right.
25, like, with when you talk about your crossroads and your new directions. Now, um, I don't know, I actually feel like the key to all this is simplifying it all and, not taking on more. Now, there's a couple of other things. If I think of other things that come up for me around you,
Right.
um, are nurses, nurses, healthcare, dealing with hospitals, nurses, and healthcare. And I don't know, it's not about you being sick. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
No.
Um, that you'd be dealing with them. Um, planning on behalf of someone or looking at that. So it feels like that's an important piece, even in the next, right in front of you, like November, December, like yeah, it's like right in front of you. Uh, Now, if I can go back, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. Um, well, maybe I'll make, there's really something about, simplifying, getting, there's two men I keep seeing, and one is, I feel like there's a battle with him a bit, or some conflict with him. And in this, you're simplifying things, like, and you'll be really firm in it. You won't back down. And it's not about, you're out there just picking fights with people. But I do think that there's some conflict with this man, and almost like you'd have to negotiate something or go, it's a process. It's not just a one of. He seems challenging. And then in terms of um, your love life, I don't know that that's the person I'm talking about. I feel like there's someone else that you're supposed to be traveling with, or two, that feels good, feels good. And I actually think that that's part of this. Like I said, here, there you go. It's right there. You're kind of in the hot seat. So let me say this. I'll say by May of 25, you've moved. This has all happened. This change really starts now into May. Okay? Okay.
Okay.
And thank you.
So
And thank you.
when
Oh,
you
sorry. Go ahead.
when you say traveling with someone else, do you not mean my current partner? You're meaning someone else?
Yeah, you could be traveling with him, but you've got some conflict with another man. It could be a brother figure, it could be a man that work. Something about this, and I just feel like that we'll have a process of maybe lots of writing back and forth, and trying to resolve something. But you have some enjoyable travel with a partner. Okay, it's
Okay.
enjoyable. Okay, all right.
Good.
You can find, thank you so much, and thank you from Florida. And you can find me at bernicebissonpsychic.com. I'm at Bernice Bisson Psychic on Facebook only. I'm not on any other social medias, and I'll never reach out to you there. So, but you can reach out to me. I do share some great paranormal stuff, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.